Hello, ladies and gentlemen, this is Rune Snow, and today I'll be going over the top 10 Planeswalker, which I guess is all relative. So let's begin with number 10. So the first one on our list is Tezzeret, Master of Bridge, War of the Spark. It's a mythic going for $20.68, and just alone saying creature and Planeswalker spells you cast have affinity for artifacts. That is just very impressive on itself, and this is why it's just, well, let alone at number 10. So let's move on to number 9. And well, we have another Tezzeret card. This one, the secret from various sets, being mythic with an average price of just $19.86. Well, it is pretty powerful. 5 mana for that 4. Untap up to 2 artifacts. Search your library for X or less. Put that in. And then its final ability, artifacts you control become 5/5 artifact creatures until end of turn. Artifacts. So his ending ability just for -5. And if you have 1,000,055 artifacts coming at you, there's nothing you can do. Even though surprisingly, there's a lot better ones. So this was at number 9, but let's move on to number 8. And then we have is Jace, the Mind Sculptor. As well, most of these cards are going to be various sets with being mythic. This one is basically $25 for $24.58. For 4 mana, again, this one's 3, and has 4 abilities you can work with. And for only 0, it has draw 3 cards and put 2 cards from your hand on top of your library in any order. Is absolutely incredible. That's free drawing. And then that's final ability, -12, which is very hard. It says exile all cards from target player's library. Then that player shuffles his or her hand into his or her library. So if you can pull that off somehow, that card is just a game-winning changer. So let's move on to number 7. And now we have is Sarkhan Fireblood from Core Set 2019. It's a mythic going for $10.30 on the top of this market. So it costs 3 for a 3, but it says you may draw a card if you discard a card. And then add 2 mana of any combination of colors. Spend this only to cast dragon spells for +1. That's pretty cool. And for -7, it says create 4. So it's a 5/5 dragons. That ability, like the Jace and everything, just the last final ability just makes this card so great, and how you can just pull it off as fast as you can. So let's move on to number 6. And now we have is Teferi, Hero of Dominaria. Various sets, it's a mythic going for $19.11. And well, for 5 mana, it has 4, so it can survive with a basic attack. And its ability to draw a card at the beginning of your next step, untap 2 lands. Like, how does that even work? Because that's so broken. I can see why this card is so powerful. And then for -8, it says you get the emblem with whenever you draw a card, exile a target permanent in opponent's control. So that's, again, another kind of game winner at the end if you can pull it off. So let's move halfway down our list to number 5. And next is the Wandering Emperor from Kamigawa Neon Dynasty. So it's at least somewhat of a new set compared to all the other cards. It's a mythic going for an average price of $22.74, with changing very often at that price. The strongest ability for this is the Flash. You can bring out this Planeswalker with Flash. And most people would do it with exile target tapped creature. You gain 2 life. So when they're attacking, get rid of that creature. Again, it's at number 5 just for that Flash ability alone. That just throws people off with the white Flash card. So let's move on to number 4. And that's right. We have Oko, Thief of Crowns. It's from Throne of Eldraine, or Breaking News. Surprisingly that they reprinted it. And it's mythic, going for $18.64. And why I say that is it's banned from basically every type of format to exist. So you can play with among friends, but it's just overpowered card. Like, if you can just see all those 3 descriptions on the card, it's game over as soon as it's on the board, basically. So let's move on to number 3. And we have Liliana, I know I always say her name wrong, of the Dark Realms. From various sets, it's a mythic going for just under $20, like most of these cards for some reason, going for $19.50. Well, 4 for this 3 says search your library swamp card, reveal it, and put it in your hand, then shuffle it. That's just +1, so that's really cool. Helps your deck control, and if you're short, it does bring out that ability. And then it has, you got the emblem with swamps you control have tap, add 4 to your mana pool. Well, with mana burn not existing anymore, and only 3 more to get that ability from her, it's just super powerful. So let's move on to number 2. And we have is Ugin, the Spirit Dragon from various sets. I put M21 because I just absolutely love the card. It's a mythic, going for an average price of $33.51. It's just a great card. Look at the artwork. Look at the casting cost. It is pretty expensive, but for what it can do, it says, well, deal 3 damage to any target for just +2. Then exile each permanent with converted mana cost of X or less. That's one more or more colors. Again, that would be very helpful. And then you gain 7 life, draw 7 cards, and put those up to 7 permanent cards from your hand onto the battlefield. Can't argue with that 100%. But let's move on to number 1. And the best Planeswalker was kind of like 2, Wrenn and Six. From various sets, it's a mythic going for just under $30 this one. And for only 2 mana. That's incredible for a Planeswalker just to put out for 2 mana. It says return up to 1 target land from your graveyard to your hand. Deals 1 damage to your target for -1. And then you get the instant and sorcery cards in your grade have retrace. I know it has all those abilities, but I'm just looking at the 2 mana. 2 mana for a legendary Planeswalker to come to play. So that is all of them, and I hope you guys have a good day and a good evening.